Today in Black history. The year was somewhere around 1946, 1947 in a small place called Leeds, Alabama. 23-year-old Ezra Jackson Jr. was a hardworking young man that walked nearly 20 miles every day to work at a tar factory in town. Now, the mayor of the town was also the owner of the tar factory, and he would observe young Ezra's daily struggle, and he looked kindly upon the young black man and made a generous deal with the motivated lad. The deal was that Ezra would, on a handshake, give the mayor a 25-pound sack of fresh sweet potatoes and several bags of fruit and pecans. Now, he was given the sweet potatoes up front, and every week thereafter, he would give him a bag of fruit and pecans. In exchange, the mayor gave him an old Model T car to drive, so he no longer had to walk, thus creating America's first known no credit check, buy here, pay here car lot. Today in Black history.
So that's how it all got started.
That's how it all got started. On this day in Black history, it was February of the year 1826 in Fitzgerald, Georgia. There was a slave. He was 6'3", about 250 pounds, named Humphrey. His nickname was Big Hump. He was very popular among his fellow slaves for his rambunctious, over-the-top personality, and he had an ability to make people laugh in what was otherwise a pretty sad existence. Now, Big Hump was so witty that he even won over the white family that owned the plantation, so much to the point that the master would often invite friends over, and Hump would come and he would gather other slave families every Friday night in the barnyard quarters, where he'd erected a small platform to stand on while telling hilarious stories of things that happened in the field. Now, the gatherings became so popular that slaves from other plantations would sneak over, and Big Hump would allow some of the brave ones to step up and tell their humorous stories as well. Now, the laughter from the barn would be so out of control that some of the slaves and overseers would be literally running around the barn with raucous applause and laughing, thus creating the first incarnation of what some 166 years later came to be called Def Comedy Jam.
Oh, my God.
Today in Black history.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you.
First
Good
Martin
night.
Lawrence.
And Kid Capri was mixed when
Kid Capri's great.
great.
In today's Black History Spotlight, it was 1848 in Monticello, Georgia. A group of 11 slaves, courageous slaves, made a run for it one humid night, escaping the Coleman plantation. Now, slave catchers gave chase after noticing the breakout about maybe a couple hours later, and the escaped group actually managed to elude capture for nearly 9 days and nights in the deep, dark forest. And they did this by using the technique where when the catchers would get close, one slave would silently tap another one to let him know to remain absolutely still until the horseback riding catcher moved on, thus inventing the first known childhood game of freeze tag,
Shut your ass.
which became popular on elementary school playgrounds all around America 100 years later.
Rita.
What is happening?
They say I'm Rita.
What's happening? It's Black History Month, people.
Today in Black history.
I'm not.
On this day in Black history, the year was 1806. The city was Beaumont, or rather the town was Beaumont, South Carolina, on the huge plantation of Beauregard Hawthorne, whose family was known for benevolent treatment of their slaves and indentured servants. Beauregard was impressed by the physical prowess. He was so impressed by the physical prowess of his workers that he was wealthy enough to get the first pick of the biggest and strongest. And he appreciated their massive physicality so much that he designed an enclosed area inside one of the stables where he would allow the slaves to use a variety of different objects, including poles and metal plates, to lift and press and push to build that incredible muscle and strengthen their bodies for the long hours of hard work in the fields. But the only ones allowed back there were the ones who had special permission. You could say a membership of sorts, to go into there every night to exercise. Thus, we look back now and see that this was probably the first incarnation of what generations later would become known as Planet Fitness. Today in Black History.
No.
Why they back there singing like that?
I'm not gonna be.
Ooh, but them things be having me weak. And that's the first Planet Fitness.
Nope.
No judgment zone. On this day in Black history, it was around this day in, I think the year was around 1822, 1823, in a small hamlet outside of Jackson, Mississippi. Roscoe Garvey, a slave, he was with a group of about 40 others.
Some can to Harvey.
And they were chained together. Well, no, they weren't chained together. They were chained in picking pecans and melons in a field. Roscoe and about 8 of the other slaves were planning an escape, unbeknownst to the single overseer that was watching over them. In the sweltering heat, Roscoe and the others began singing upbeat, high-energy Negro spirituals. And this distracted the overseer, and they all lined up on opposite sides of each other, moving side to side in unison, facing each other in 2 parallel lines. At the same time, the more expressive and energetic and talented slaves would start at the top of the lines and go down in between the others doing high-energy, traditional African dance moves, all of which distracted the overseer, who was mesmerized by the spectacle. They would go down in groups of 2, and then the next 2 would go, and then these synchronized movements had the overseer totally distracted, and while he was watching, at least 10 of the slaves were able to run free from the top of the 2 parallels. This is now being recognized as the first known performance of what generations later would become known as the Soul Train Line.
Soul Train Line.
No, it's not.
Man, it's not.
That's where it started. That's where it started. Today in Black history, that's where it started.
No.
Yep. That's where it started.
No, it's not.
Yes, indeed.